All right, guys, welcome back to another episode on the Dynamic Lifestyle Podcast. Solo round time with Chris, aka mi hermano, my partner in crime, the guy that I don't know what else to say. I butchered that one, right?
Besides, ¿cómo estamos? ¿Cómo estamos? Vamos a hablar español.
No, man. Happy Sunday, though. I mean, it's kind of rare that we're doing this podcast episode on a Sunday, but we have a busy week ahead of us and a short week. So I was like, you know what, Chris, let's just do a podcast episode on Sunday. I don't really have much plans. I know you don't have much going on as well, too. So why not, right?
Yeah, it's funny, man. I was actually, like you said, we have a short week. We're going to Cabo, so we're going on Friday, guys, and we're staying till Tuesday. And one of the big reasons we're going is I'm going to go look at venues with my fiance. We're planning on doing a destination wedding out there, and I really wanted Eric to be a part of this and to come with me. And unfortunately, I wanted my mom to come too, but she can't come because of her passport. So the thing is, though, it's funny because I was talking to our mom this morning. We're such mama's boys, but I was talking to her this morning, and I was just telling her just like how burnt out I feel, just like mentally, physically, and emotionally. And I know I was talking to you about this a little bit the other day, and I think it's just because ever since this whole COVID situation happened in March, everything has just been like literally just on the go, just pivot, adapt, like nonstop, right? You have to be on your toes. And I think it's all starting to like really like crash down and just come down right now and just like really hit me mentally, physically, emotionally. I just feel exhausted, man. I really, really do, just with everything. So that's why I'm looking forward to just like getting away, for 3-4 days and just literally not doing anything, just completely disconnecting, recharging my batteries and having some fun out there. Cause I feel like it's earned. It's really well earned. I don't like saying it's deserved because it's not deserved, but it's earned. It's been earned from like these past 6 months of this first 2020 messed up year.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. I feel you on that too, or just a little bit of the burnout, and we're very aware of that too. But what's tricky about the COVID thing and the whole quarantine thing is it's like it's easy to get into that like little like routine and trap of overworking. Just because there's not a whole lot of places to go. There's a lot of restrictions. I think we've all adapted to certain aspects of COVID to where we're okay with that, and it's just part of like the new normal. If that it makes sense, but yeah, you catch yourself even as an entrepreneur working too much and just squeezing in more hours just because you're like trying to stay busy and just calm down the anxiety.
No, exactly. Yeah. So that's why I'm looking forward to this episode. It's going to be a good one. And then, just really kicking our feet up back in Cabo and having some fun. And it's funny, guys, if you guys are watching the video version, I switched up the scenery here. So one of my good friends from our hometown, Alvaro, so he made this. He's an engineer and he made this for us for our birthday. It's pretty cool. So I'm going to get it painted, but it says Dynamic Fit Pros on there. So I was like, you know what? I got to switch it up on this. I got the whole place to myself. I got to switch this up right now.
I like it, but that needs some paint and color, and I'm going to one up you on that because I'm having someone that's more artistic and gifted than me in that department that's painting it. So can't wait to put that baby to use.
Yep, for sure.
All right, let's kick this episode off. So this episode is going to be really good too because even just it kind of carries over to the last poll that we did on our podcast episodes to where we put that out on social media to our email lists to all the listeners where what are some topics that you want to listen to and see from us on the solo rounds, and one of them was how to break past self-limiting beliefs. So that was a runner-up to the last one we did last week, but yeah, this is going to be powerful because I love talking about this. I love, breaking my students through each one of these belief barriers that we're going to be talking about. So I know there's going to be some value for everybody. So guys, really just pay attention to everything that we say in this episode. And as always, just take action on it. Just try it. That's all we ask you guys to do. I mean, we're not saying we're gurus and, like experts on breaking past self-limiting belief, but it's like 10 years in the game of being entrepreneurs. I mean, we have some experience and, we've dealt with all these different, self-limiting beliefs that we're going to be talking about. So I think that, you guys will get something from this. So we came up with 5 different self-limiting beliefs that are going to help you break past and just, reach your full potential. So let's kick this off, man. So I'm going to ask you, Chris, like, what is your definition of, self-limiting beliefs?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm excited about getting into these top 5 self-limiting beliefs because they're so powerful and they're going to help you guys bust through and really kind of like have breakthroughs and really reach your fullest potential. And that's what it's all about, is maximizing your potential. So I guess my perception on it, man, is that what I just said. It's a perception. It's like every day you have an option to either perceive a self-limiting belief as being real or not being real, and letting it kind of control you or not control you. And it's just a perception, right? So an example is like something that we've always dealt with and I don't think our parents like did it on purpose, but
Mhm.
they always said like, oh, money doesn't grow on trees, right? And when you think about that, when you grow up, that becomes a self-limiting belief because you have a weird relationship around money, like when you're a little bit older. And it took a lot of work to kind of rewire me to be like, no, that's not true, because there's no hard data, there's no facts, there's no empirical evidence that says that that saying money grows on trees is true, right? So that means our parents learned it from somewhere, right? So that was just a perception that was in their head, and they chose to perceive that that was a true thing that was like real, but it's not real. There's no evidence that shows that money grows on trees or whoever made that up. So every single day you have a choice to either make that a real perception or a false perception, right? And I choose, like with all these self-limiting beliefs that come up, that they're just perceptions, and it's my choice to be like, no, I'm going to break them, or I'm going to find a way to break past them. So that's my kind of definition on self-limiting beliefs, is just it ends up just being a perception that you come up with every single day.
Yeah, I like that. And for me, when I look at self-limiting beliefs, there's different ones, but ultimately, what these beliefs, these limiting beliefs do is they make you feel, not smart enough, not worthy enough for success, and not good enough, right? And what that ultimately does is just cause paralysis by overanalysis, and just makes you not want to take action or just do anything just even better in life, right? And again, like you said, it stems from just like different things, right? That could be your environment that you're around, people that think negatively. They don't have growth mindsets, they have fixed mindsets. It could be from your upbringing, just with like parents, right, where they don't know any better, they were just taught all these different things. So it's not like they're doing that maliciously or intentionally. They're just looking out for you, but they don't really understand, and they're not expanding their mindsets. Another thing could be just from, school systems, right? Just the school system, what they teach us, which is a broken system, and it's up to us to fix that and, go out there and seek more knowledge, seek resources, seek mentors, and play at a bigger level and break past all these self-limiting beliefs. And I would say the last one is just like literally past trauma, right? I mean, we all have dealt with like past trauma, certain people in our life, right? Whether it's, parents saying, hey, you're not good enough, like you're not worthy enough, you can't do this. So at an early age, right, just breaking you down, like just like little by little, to where they belittle you, and you can't sit there and recover from that, right? So imagine if a parent tells you you're not good enough, or you'll never amount to anything, like you can't reach these dreams. Imagine what that's going to do to someone in their teens and going forward. That's something they're going to have to really, really work on and peel back layers, right, to get past those limiting beliefs. And then another thing too, for like example for us, right, we dealt with a tragic loss with our father, right? And then our mother turned to alcohol, antidepressant pills. Then she lost her mom. Then we just went through our dark path at a young age, right? So past trauma. So they're all limiting beliefs that just kind of cumulatively add up, right? And can really, really cause a lot of just things going forward in life and as a person, and just when you are reaching different goals.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I'm excited to get into these 5, man, because these are some really, really good top 5 limiting beliefs that we all deal with, or have dealt with, or are going to deal with, and we have some really good action steps on how to really break through them, and again, to reach your fullest potential. So I'm excited about this.
Yeah, let's get into them. So the first one I want to talk about is imposter syndrome. And geez, it's funny. I think I could spend an episode like on each one of these. You really could, but I was really thinking about how can I really simplify, each one of these. But imposter syndrome, it's one of those things where you're always going to feel like an imposter, no matter really what you're doing. Even if you're not an entrepreneur, even if you're just someone working a 9 to 5, you just have like a steady career, you're always going to feel like you're an imposter to a certain degree in one aspect of life. So for me, it's just like you have to really just accept that and just let that be kind of like part of just, hey, this is part of life. Like we don't have all this shit figured out. We never will. I'm always going to have to be a constant student going forward. I'm never going to feel like I'm qualified 100% to do all these little things, right? And that could be even like I'm not a parent, but imagine just like with parenting, right? There's no recipe, there's no book for a perfect parent, right? You just got to get your hands dirty and learn as you go and put in the sets and reps. So I can imagine so many parents have that imposter syndrome and feel unqualified. Same thing goes for a business owner. Same thing goes for just, someone that's a boss of different people. So the imposter syndrome is always, always there. I can imagine just movie actors, like singers, entertainment. I mean, the list goes on. Everyone has that imposter syndrome because they don't have it all figured out. It's like they're learning as they go. And it goes back to putting in the sets and reps of everything, right? So imperfect action, so that's what I see like with imposter syndrome. And that's like the best way that you could really just break past that, is just putting in the sets and reps and just reframing your mind to understand that you're never going to be perfect, and you'll probably never, feel like you're qualified.
Yeah, exactly, man. And just like how many times have we seen this, like with our Fit Pro students, to where it's like, that's the biggest thing that's kind of holding them back is like, the imposter syndrome. And it really does come down to just taking imperfect action. And I know we did an episode where we talk about this, but it's like, stop having the mindset of putting out A+ work and put out your B+ work to serve people and help people out. And once you reframe your mindset to where like literally what you're doing is a gift that you have to be able to serve the world out there and create transformation. I mean, that helps a lot with imposter syndrome. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because it's just it's a self-limiting belief that just needs to be broken over time.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Was there ever a time, which I know there was, but did you really feel like, holy shit, like, man, I'm such an imposter? I know we still have it. I even admit it, but was there ever a time where you're just like, holy, like it almost made you want to just like quit or just stop?
Yeah, for sure. Like when we started, dynamic duo training back in like 2010, when it really started kind of taking off in 2012, like I was scared to put out like articles, videos, because for some reason I thought some of those people that like had PhDs or like, were at the top of like the pioneers, I thought for some reason they were going to go read my article or go spend their time watching my video and critique it and be like, this guy doesn't know shit. Why is he putting videos out? But it was so far from the truth. It's like, there's no way they were going to sit there and watch those videos or read my blogs, right? They had their own stuff to be able to consume and be able to write and stuff like that or make. So it was just all in my head, literally all in my head. And I think what that led to was just like, us overdoing it with certifications. One thing we always talk about is stop doing certification after certification. We spent over 10K in certifications, and I wish I would have dumped that back into like marketing or sales or something like that. Mm-hmm. But that led us to doing that because you felt like an imposter. So I had to get the next certification to peel back another layer and feel more competent. And like, oh, okay, I'm going to get this certification. And then, you know what? I'm going to feel really good now. I can really be qualified to coach people. Now I can really help people out. But it's far from the truth. It was all in my head. I was ready the whole time. It was a self-limiting belief the whole time. That's all it was. And it was imposter syndrome.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I agree. I felt that one a little bit too.
Yep. Okay. So let's move on to the second self-limiting belief that's pretty big, and that's money and having a scarce mindset, right? And this is a big one, guys. It really is, because, and I laugh because we've dealt with it for so long. It's crazy. I remember that day that it was 2017, and we were at the Roosevelt Hotel in Hollywood. We went to Ty Lopez's conference, right? And he was pitching a $25,000 mastermind. And we just knew in our gut that was the next step. That's what we needed to break past, our own things that we're going through in business, right? And I remember we were on the phone with like 3 to 4 different credit card companies. We were asking relatives, let us borrow the money. We'll pay you guys back, because we saw the value, we saw the investment in this. And man, we were sweating bricks, I remember. And finally, we made it happen, though. We made it happen that day. And I remember how scared we were. And we were just so scared and scarce with the money, thinking that, we're never going to get it back. Like, this is $25,000 pretty much gone, And then when you're in this program for a full year and you're going to these meetups 4 times a year at Ty Lopez's mansion, and he's bringing in these speakers, and there's other people that are in the business builder, they're making millions of dollars, right? It is an incredible experience to where it's like, there's no price tag that he could have put on that because of what it did for us after a year. It literally took away that scarce mindset around money, because I was around wealth for literally a full year. I was speaking the language of wealth with all these people that, broke past those self-limiting beliefs. So that's what I would say is just like, if you're having an issue with having a scarce mindset around money, number one, stop looking at things as expenses and look at them in investments that you're going to make the money back. As long as you take action, you're going to make the money back. So stop doing that. The second thing is start surrounding yourself with people that are wealthier, right? So if that means you got to kick some friends to the curb a little bit, and you have to have those like really serious relationships, like you need to sit there and level yourself up and hang around people that are speaking language, they're more abundant, they're not scared to spend money, then you need to do that type of stuff, because that's the only way you're going to break past this self-limiting belief. And the third part is start reading books around money,
Yeah.
because money is just an energy. That's all it is. And the more you become abundant about it, the more you put it out there, the more you invest in it, the more you give. I promise this thing called universal intelligence is going to come back and repay you, and it's going to make you more abundant. You're going to get a couple of breaks. You're going to see the investments going forward in life. So that's kind of my take on this huge, second one on the self-limiting belief around money and having a scarce mindset.
Yeah, and I love all those action steps and what you said about Ty Lopez, the whole experience, and I really can't even elaborate on that because I agree with everything. But a couple other action steps that people could do is you can write yourself a letter, to money. So this came from the book called "You're a Badass at Making Money" by Jen Sincero, which amazing book, right? And I still read little parts of this every single day just to program my mind to be abundant and positive with money every single day. So you can write yourself a letter to why you think that you deserve more wealth, which is a great thing. You could sit there and put post-it notes all around your room, just on your refrigerator, just with positive affirmations or mantras around money, right? Positive money mindset stuff. Just again, to be around that. You can write yourself a check to how much money you want to make and put that somewhere visible. You can put money, dollar bills, $5 bills, $1 bills all around just certain areas like your work spot, just to create that energy to be abundant. And it's not about, greed. You shouldn't be thinking that's you being greedy. It's just no, money's just like a byproduct. It's an energy, like you said. It's just it's energy to where it's not a big deal. If I make it, and then I lose it, it's not a big deal, right? I just want to do good intentions. If I have good intentions with money, then it's I'm putting that message out to the universe to where it's okay, bring me more wealth because I have really good intentions with it, and it's not a big deal, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's why in our VIP program, we have a whole entire section that we teach on money mindset, because we know how important it is. We know that a lot of fit pros that come into our program are struggling with that issue of having a scarce mindset with money, and they don't look at it as investment. They look at it as an expense. So that's why we work on this stuff, because it's just rewiring the brain to look at it as investments, and you're putting it out there as an energy to be able to come back to you 3x, when you make those investments.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so let's go on to the third self-limiting belief, which is fear of failing.
Whew, man.
This one honestly took a while for me to break past, just because I think that's the first thing you think about, especially just in the eyes of an entrepreneur, or just the mindset of an entrepreneur. Just, I'm going to fail. Shit, what if I fail? I spend this money and I fail. Then what? It's I'm a failure. It's damn, what do I do now? So this one took a long time for me, but to be honest, guys, my biggest action step for this one is just action cures fear. It truly does. The more you take action and just get your hands dirty and learn from these, experiences, and just understand that it's part of the process, that there is no such thing as failure. There are only lessons. That's the best way you could, just reframe your mind around the self-limiting belief, because again, you're going to fail. You're going to fail. And I'm not saying that, damn, sometimes I don't like when people say fail faster, or, failing's a good thing. I don't necessarily agree 100% with that. I understand that there's learning lessons with it and stuff, but I don't want you to intentionally be okay, I'm going into this and I'm going to fail. You know what I mean? There's a difference between programming your mind to say, no, I'm going to succeed, with this mission or this goal or this project or this skill set I'm trying to learn, as opposed to, okay, I'm going to do this, but I'll probably fail. So whatever, I'll learn from it. There's a big difference from that. So if you put your 100% effort into it and you're persistent about it, your intentions are well off, and if you fail, then cool. Again, it's a learning lesson. That's fine. Go back to the drawing board, write some takeaways as to what didn't work and how can you prevent that going forward. Very, very simple. So I don't know what else you have on fear of failure, but that's pretty much what I got on that.
No, I like that. I agree. I just think it comes back again to where it's just nothing's going to be perfect. You know what I mean? So it's just get started on it, take action. And if you fail and you have a good game plan and, you're doing everything you can possibly control, and if things just don't work out for some reason, it's okay. You just learn from the lessons. You don't make the same mistakes twice, and you just put your head forward and you march forward and just go on with the next thing.
Yeah.
It's that next theory. If you ever read the book Winning Through Intimidation, there's this thing called the next theory, where it's just basically what I just said. If you have a good game plan, you put your effort in there, you take action. If it doesn't work out, you just say, okay, next. And literally that reframes your mindset to let it go. Don't worry about it anymore. Stop dwelling about it and just go forward,
Exactly. Because if you just sit there and keep thinking about it, again, it's just like, that's just going to cause like just depression going forward. You're going to be depressed and like, man, like I could have done this different, but it's like, dude, it's over and done with. It's like, it's a fucking game. It's like, life's a game, business is a game. It's like, get yourself up, dust yourself off, and let's go.
Yeah, exactly. All right, cool. So moving on to number 4. So let's stay on the topic of fear, right? So fear of getting started, right? That's another big one. Fear of getting started.
Take action.
Take action, right? So with this one, there's been so many times like where Eric and I have been fearful of getting started like on a project or putting something out there, right? But again, with this one, again, taking action cures it. And having that mindset to where it's like, it's not going to be 100% perfect, right? But as long as you get it off the ground and then you fine tune it, you get feedback, that's what matters most, right? Another thing with this one too is I like what Ty Lopez said. I learned this in his business builder when we were in there for a full year, was he said, be impatiently patient as opposed to being patiently impatient. Okay. So what he meant was by that is sometimes you got to be a little bit impatient and you need to just get started on it. Right. And then after you get started on it, then you can be patient. Like then you can get the feedback, then you can fine tune, then you can tweak things and make things better, right? Keep working on that. Because on the other side of the spectrum, if you're too patiently and then you're impatient, that's a bad thing because it means that the person that's super patient and keeps waiting till the quote unquote, the perfect timing, this is the moment. What happens is when they get started finally, then they're super impatient to get things going, to get results. And that's not a good thing when you're super impatient because then things are going to get messed up. And then your expectations are so high, to where it's like, there's nothing that's going to satisfy you and it's just going to bring you down. So be impatiently patient instead of patiently impatient.
I love that. I truly remember when he said that too. And another thing he said too was just get started and just launch. Like meaning again, just take action. Just take action and just get your hands dirty and keep learning as you go. I mean, that's all you can do. Like I said, you can have the best blueprint to anything in life, right? Anything we're talking about here. And it's just about taking action, like one step forward at a time. You know what I mean? And just like breaking past that imaginary wall that you really think is, holding you back or suffocating you, and yeah, I mean, it's crazy, man. Like it's frustrating sometimes. Like, and for us, like when we're teaching like our Fit Pros this, right? We do everything we can to just, really reframe their mind and be by their side and hold them accountable and just do everything to put them in the position to succeed. But you see which ones just are action takers and aren't. And I just think sometimes that's just in different people's DNA. And it's just one of those things, like some people are just a little bit slower at things, like kind of like a turtle. Then you have the damn rabbit that just accelerates and just goes fast.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. All right. So the last self-limiting belief that we want to talk about is the comparison game. Whew, this one too. I know you guys feel me on this one. You just hear that, the comparison game. And real quick, when we got into all this stuff too, I mean, when we first started our first business, Dynamic Duo Training, I remember that the comparison game was so much more powerful there just because, we had really good mentors like Lane Norton, Dr. Joe Komleski, Eric Helms at 3DMJ. And when we started our business, we were always comparing ourselves to them, which I don't know why. It's so dumb thinking back at it, but you can't compare yourself to people that have like 5, 10, 15, 20 more years of experience than you. You just can't do it. Like you'll never ever win that game and your mind will just literally just like punch you and knock you down. So I just remember that. And then even too, like when we started our other business, Dynamic Fit Pros, and we shifted to doing just nothing but business consulting and coaching for personal trainers. I mean, I always would compare myself, to other people that were doing the same thing. I'd go down like the damn Instagram feed and see like all their highlights and be like, fuck, man, like why are we not there? This and that, like what's going on here? What are we doing wrong? And then I remember I had a conversation with one of our mentors. It was Mike Zeller, and he would tell us too, just like, don't ever go down the feed. And it's not like you're just stop unfollowing people. You know what I mean? It's not that you don't like these people, but it's just, if you're triggered by it, right, by this comparison game, and it's giving you negative energy and it's really just causing you paralysis, then just eliminate that from the equation, right? And once I started reframing my mind to just be like, abundant and just being like, man, I want these guys to be successful, even though like, we look at them as competitors, but I don't like that word competitor, right? To me, they're more inspirational now that I think about it. So once we reframed our mind and we're just like, rooting for these people when they had their highlights and they were doing well, it really changed the game. And it made things so much easier to where I wasn't comparing myself no longer. I was more of just like, this could be a possible like alliance or someone that we team up with down the road. It's like, they're doing great. Like, I mean, I want them to continue to have success going forward. So that's kind of like my action step for the listeners with comparison game. Just like, stop going down the feed. If it's causing like the comparison thing, unfollow these people. But again, reframe your mind to just, be more abundant and celebrate those successes from other people.
Yeah, 100%. I remember like 3 years ago, I couldn't even go down the Instagram feed because I would get envious. I really would. Mm-hmm. And again, it wasn't like because I was like, being a hater or anything like that. It was just my own issue I was dealing with to where I was envious. I was like, man, these guys are killing it. They're crushing it, on social media, right? Quote unquote. So I would let it get to my head and I had to stop going down the feed. And that really, really helped me out until like what you said, you start reframing your mindset to be abundant and that's cool and cheer them on, right? And a little hack, what I do now, which is awesome, is called funnel hacking, to where it's like I have my own separate Instagram, right? I don't post anything on there, but I follow 25 to 30 people where I really respect these guys and I want to learn from them and I want to kind of funnel hack and see what they're doing to get inspiration when those days that I don't have like everything going too. I need something to pick me up and I'm there like liking their stuff. Like I'm being a cheerleader there. And 3 years ago, I didn't think that was possible, but if you reframe your mindset and you give it some time, trust me, it'll pay off.
Yeah, exactly. Are you sure that's not the separate Instagram where you have like the eyebrow threading business going?
That's the one right there, man. You shouldn't have told people. I was going to say it at the end.
You're going to plug it at the end? The future of like 5 years from now?
Speaking of that, I actually, guys, it's a funny story, really quick. I called probably like 10 different eyebrow threading places here in LA and all of them are closed. So I'm like kind of pissed because I have to take like 30 minutes to work on these babies before Cabo. So if you guys know any places, shoot me a DM.
Just shave them, man.
Yeah, right.
All right. So just to recap these 5 self-limiting beliefs, it's imposter syndrome, money, scarce mindset, fear of failing, fear of getting started, and comparison game. So I know we gave you guys a lot of stuff on these, and I want to dabble into this to kind of just like close off this entire episode. And to me, I think that this is what's going to really help with all these different self-limiting beliefs. And maybe some people won't agree with me on this, but it's accountability and hiring help. To me, this will really, really help with all these different forms of self-limiting beliefs. So let me kick this off first. So if by hiring accountability, right, if you really think about it, with accountability on your side, you can make dramatic changes in your life, become incredibly productive, and achieve enormous success. If you really think about that, every time like that we felt like imposters or we've had the money mindset issues, the fear of failing, what have we kind of gone back to? Mentors and accountability, right? Someone that we can just be like, man, I'm having a bad day. I don't know why I'm thinking about this. Like I'm comparing myself to these people. Like I'm having an issue in investing like, $2,000 for, some ads or something like that. And then we get whipped into shape by our mentors or our accountability group, which was like people from our mastermind, just different groups we're a part of. You know what I mean? So that, I think accountability is just huge. It really, really is.
Yeah. And that's exactly like why we're a part of, these type of programs. Like, for example, we're a part of Mark Lack's, personal branding accelerator program. And every single week he has a live call where he's answering questions. And, that's why we're a part of that, because we need that accountability. We look forward to that, to get our questions answered, to learn from other people, to get pumped up, for the week and to really keep like going, So that's another reason why we do what we do in our VIP program is every single week we have a call for 2 hours with our Fit Pros, answering their questions, teaching them things, having them be a part of that group camaraderie, right? Because they need it so much too. They need that accountability to look forward every single week that I'm hopping on the call with Chris and Eric every single week for 2 hours, answering my questions, learning from other Fit Pros. That's exactly why we do it, because we know how important it is to have accountability and how these self-limiting beliefs can get to us. So we need to have that accountability to break through them and reach our fullest potential.
Yeah, absolutely. It's huge. It's huge. And right here, I want to read off a couple different sections. And I'm reading, I got this from Craig Ballantyne. We've had Craig Ballantyne on the podcast. Great guy. I'm reading his book, Unstoppable. And I love his couple quotes that he puts here on accountability. So I'll read these off real quick. And I know this will hit home for the listeners. So this is all in accountability. So accountability will reduce anxiety, fear, and will motivate you to make changes the right way while you are in the process of changing what you believe about yourself and help you start building momentum, and which momentum is freaking key in any aspect of life, right? We've said this, just whether it's in business, whether it's just like, your lifestyle, any type of thing, relationships. Once you gain that momentum, it's like you start believing in yourself and you build confidence. So the next thing is accountability is a way of having someone else hold you to a higher standard than you hold yourself. So you can break away from those self-limiting beliefs.
Man,
I mean, it's powerful. And the last one I'll leave you with is you must be accountable to someone that you deeply do not want to disappoint. I'll read that one more time. You must be accountable to someone that you deeply do not want to disappoint. And it's powerful. If you really think about it, guys, if you guys have accountability, whether it's just a personal mentor, a group of people, a different environment of like friends that don't think negatively and are thinking always positive and expanding their mindset, I mean, holy shit, these self-limiting beliefs will be very, very easy to overcome going forward. And it'll take time. Nothing happens overnight, but if you do these things little by little, it's going to change the way you look at things.
Yeah, exactly, man. I mean, that's exactly why you don't want to disappoint me, because like, I hold you accountable. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you disappoint me, man, I mean, I'm going to have to fire you. So it's like, you have to be on your game. You got to be on your A game. You know what I mean? So
yeah, exactly. And dude, I 100% agree with you. I'm not even saying like no to that, but even like, again, another example, right? So when we invested $25K into Ty Lopez's mastermind, do you think that I wanted to sit there and let myself down and you for $25,000, which I think that was a lot of money back then, especially, right? My mindset was super scarce. So there's no in hell I wanted to like let you down or just like be like, oh shoot, that's $25,000 I just like washed down and I'm not going to take action with. Like, you got to be kidding me. No way.
But that's why we invested in so many mentors, man. And I don't want to kind of talk about all this stuff again with the mentorship, but that's why it's so important, because again, what Craig said, that you don't want to let these people down, because you made the investment, you're going to show up, you're going to take action, you're going to listen to them. And that's the last thing you want to do, is sit there and let them down. So it keeps you on your toes. It keeps you sharp. It keeps you becoming a student, and really paying attention. And again, that's what the old saying goes. If you pay attention. If you pay more, you pay more attention. And I really firmly believe that, because when we paid for that 25 grand, you better believe we paid more attention, as opposed to just buying like maybe like, a $500 or $1,000 course, right? So it really, really is true, guys, and that's why we're so pumped up for this episode, because of the self-limiting beliefs and all these different action steps that we gave you guys to break through these, to reach your fullest potential. And hopefully at the end of this, kind of just like making you think about why accountability is so important, and mentorship,
Yeah. Whew. I think that's a really powerful way to end this episode, but this was great, man. Great conversation. I mean, I feel like I can talk all day about this, just because again, like we've been through all these self-limiting beliefs. Like we continue to go through some of them. We're not perfect, and we never will be, and all the students that we continue to help that come to us, where we have to peel back layer by layer and really help them reframe their mindset. So I think this was great. So guys, thank you again for tuning in. We really hope that, you got some value out of this. And like I said, just maybe you're struggling with one of these self-limiting beliefs. Maybe you're not struggling with all of them, and that's okay, right? But just double down on that one that you're struggling with, and put some of the action steps that we told you to do. And that's it. All you can do is just be, constant work in progress, and get 1% better every day. Don't put too much stress on yourself. And again, guys, we're all human, and we're all trying to figure this out going forward.
Exactly. So I think it's time for a beer to celebrate, and then watch some NBA with no fans.
Sounds good. It is a Sunday. We usually don't work on Sunday, so special edition Sunday podcast.
Yep.
So
yep.
Right on, man. Thanks so much, Chris. Enjoy the beer. And then guys, until next time, go out there and live a dynamic lifestyle.
Peace. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video and another episode on pro tips on living a dynamic lifestyle. We truly appreciate it. Hopefully you got a lot of value out of it. If you're interested in getting more value like this from these pro tips, make sure to subscribe above. We're going to be dropping these daily. Also, if you are a fitness professional and you're looking to create more income, impact, influence, and independence, we just dropped our new book, Rise of the Fit Pros, so you guys can do all of that. And you can also start building your hybrid training model of in-person and online training. So make sure to click the link or the book right here to grab your guys' copy, and we'll send it over to you. Other than that, we're out. Talk to you soon.